Hey, One Up Church and One Up friends, Peter here with our next quarterly update. Got 4 updates for you this time. Quarterly update number 1, our upcoming outreach events. We got 4 outreaches planned for this coming quarter. Number 1, we have our snow day happening on Saturday, March 16th. Now, a snow day in which we go to the Snoqualmie Hyack area and do sledding, that may sound like a fun day, not an outreach, and it is a fun day for all ages, youth, kids, young adults, families, just anybody who wants to come. But it's also great outreach. We cook a meal, we cook lunch together under the canopy. Well, Mark Jones does most of the cake. We help, but then as part of that too, we invite people in the parking lot who have come for the snow day, not our snow day, but their own snow day, and we just invite them to have a meal with us. And it's just a great way to share God's love in a practical way. Fun outreach and fun event together. And then number 2, on Tuesday, April 16th, we have our Peace Community Dinner service project for preparing a meal for those who need a free meal. And so I encourage you to be a part of that Tuesday, April 16th. And then number 3 outreach event is April 21st. We have our annual Dragon Boat outreach, and in which it's a great, fun way to interact with the community. And this is the year we win. I feel it. We're going to win this year. We're going to destroy the community in Jesus' name. So look forward to that. And then finally, on June 2nd, we have our COTN food packaging event for the year. We're going to package 25,000 meals in place of our worship service that Sunday morning. We're going to package those meals. And I say in place, but it's really as our service of worship. We're going to do that together to worship Jesus through service, but also it's a great way to invite people who maybe are not comfortable coming to a church normally, but this is a great way to kind of get them in the door and interacting, and maybe through that is a bridge for them to eventually join us on a regular Sunday morning sometime. So those are our 4 outreach events. Update number 2, our Holy Week happenings. Holy Week is early this year. It's coming up really quick. Last week of this month, March, begins with our Good Friday service at Ocean 5 on Friday, March 29th, at Ocean 5 at 7 p.m. in our regular worship space. And each year, this is my favorite service of the year every year. Instead of a sermon by me, we hear from 7 of you share on one of the 7 last words of Christ spoken from the cross. And yet again, this is the 12th year we're doing it, and I've never asked the same person twice. This may be the last year I could pull that off, but this year we have speaking Carrie Hooper, John Martinson, Bruce Schmitz, Austin Zuliger, Sandy Chernus, David Gilman, and Michael Baltursa. And so really look forward to having them share. And then also another real treat is we've got Metropolitan Ballet dancers are going to come and do a special dance to really help us also reflect on the passion of Christ. And then on Saturday, the Saturday right before Easter, Saturday, March 30th, we're going to have our kids Easter egg hunt and kids club at the Chernus House at 10 a.m. that Saturday. So encourage all you kids and wannabe kids to come and join us for that. And then, of course, Sunday is Easter celebration, 9:30 a.m. Really encourage you to invite people who maybe don't normally go to church. It's a great time just to have a celebration and to hear a very simple gospel message as part of it. And so encourage you to invite folks to join us for that Easter service. And then update number 3, just going to update our preaching calendar. We've been in the book of Romans for a long time. We took a couple breaks, and we're going to take a break for Easter. But then during the month of April and May, we're going to finish off the book of Romans, and it gets into the real practical part of the book. And then we'll do something, we'll be done, and we're going to hit our summer series, which is, I don't know. And so I'm going to send out a link. And if you have ideas of a topic you'd like us to hit this summer, or a book of the Bible, or a character study, or any other idea that you might have of something you'd like us to do as a summer series, I'll encourage you just to fill out that small little kind of feedback form, and we'll try to work that into our summer series, or perhaps maybe it might be an idea for the fall series if we don't do it this summer. All right? And then finally, update number 4. I want to give you a leadership update. Every year we do a special leadership retreat. Been doing it for 3 years now, ever since COVID, and really significant one. This last one was the end of October of this last year. And each time we do these leadership retreats, we focus on one aspect of our vision or some area that we feel like we need to have some improvement in. And so this year, this leadership retreat was focusing on our kind of leadership structure, how we function as a leadership team, as an elder team, because that leadership retreat is really for elders and action team leads and spouses, really anybody who is able to come on those retreats. And so really looking at kind of 2 areas where I feel like we've had some growth areas, both in the area of how our elder team functions and also how our action team functions. And some of us have just kind of recognized over the years our elder team tends to act more like what I would call a church council. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it, but it's just kind of more of a overseeing different aspects of the church and being involved in some of the nuts and bolts decisions even of things that, quite frankly, those action teams should just be released to do, but we kind of, as an elder team, get kind of drawn into that. And we have an action team that every elder is kind of overseeing or is a liaison for, but there's also action team leads. Anyway, it just kind of gets confusing who does what and who's responsible for what. And some of our action teams have a team and some is just a person or two who's just a doer and getting stuff done. So we took a fresh look at what does it mean biblically to be an elder. And so what we're kind of just wrestling with ever since that retreat, and we're ready to kind of implement some refocusing, is to help our elder team really become more of a pastoral team, which I think is the biblical definition of what an elder is. We're together to pastor One Hope Church and to shepherd the congregation as far as vision and teaching and just the spiritual growth and care of our congregation, and give vision for the other aspects of ministry, but really kind of release those other ministries to do what we're calling them to do. So that's one thing we're doing. We're refocusing our elders. We're going to actually take a couple of the action teams, like spiritual growth and discipleship. We're just going to take that directly underneath the elders. That's something that the pastoral team, elder team should do. There's other things, other aspects of the prayer team that will come under elders, because that's another thing elders are to do. We're to pray. And also congregational care, just like visitation and just making sure nobody slips through the cracks, just taking that aspect underneath the pastoral team. And then the second thing we're kind of doing this refocusing of our leadership and how we function as a church is we're going to take our 9 action teams. Yes, we have 9 action teams. And believe it or not, the governance plan even suggests more than that. I thought we were simplifying it a number of years ago. We made it just 9 action teams. But I think we really need to focus it even more. And so we are going to really kind of take all of the action teams and individuals, and everybody's still doing the same stuff. If you're doing something, don't stop doing what you're doing. But we're going to take kind of those responsibilities and put them under 3 core action teams. And so one core action team we're simply calling the Go and Do team. And under that Go and Do team is going to be things like local outreach and international missions and any kind of benevolence team giving as we give out. Just go and do, give to the ministries that we support or needs of our congregation that come up, physical needs, to care for those, or just, someone needs meals and we just go and do. We help provide those meals. And so that's going to be one team. And then a second of these 3 core teams is what we're just going to call the worship services team. And that just involves anything that has anything to do with Sunday morning or any other special services we may have, but particularly Sunday morning. And so that's the worship team, worship band, worship leaders. That's the music, and that's the sound and video, our tech folks, our setup crew. That's the altar display. That's in-house signage, nursery, Sunday school, prayer ministry. Anything that happens on Sunday morning will kind of fall under that core team. And then the third core team, we're just calling the communications team. Now we have a communications team, but this is kind of a new communications team that's going to just oversee every aspect of communication, whether it's communication within our congregation, which would involve things like the newsletter and just, giving these quarterly updates or emails that go out or pre-service slides, any way that we have to communicate within our congregation, to members within our congregation, but also Second thing, communication to visitors, just how, our greeters and just connect cards, and how do we do follow-up and outreach to those who visit us on Sunday mornings at One Hope. And then third, just communication to the community, just getting the word out. That's our website, that's social media, maybe other advertising, anything we do just to get the word out, communicate with the community about One Hope Church. And so that's kind of what we're doing. We're kind of revamping our action teams. We're refocusing our elders as a pastoral team. And then the final thing I'll just mention is that the other thing that we really see needed is kind of a greater degree of, I'm just going to call it project management. So, we have a lot of doers at One Hope Church, and we got some vision people and leaders in our elder team. But of course, we've kind of got sucked into some of the management role, and that's not what we want to do. And so, but we do need people who are gifted in things like project management and just can really oversee basically those three teams I just mentioned: the Go and Do team, the worship services team, and the communications team. And so we're looking to identify three core leaders who really have the gift and calling and passion to do kind of more project manager type role, not to do this stuff. We got some great doers, but someone just to make sure that the vision is being followed and that the action items for those different teams are happening and nothing is falling through the cracks. And so so that's what, if that stirs something in you, maybe one of those teams I mentioned, I would love to chat. I mean, we're going to be kind of looking at who can fill those roles. And then the other piece here I'll just mention too is that, the elders, we're going to create a vision for each of those teams, like here at a macro level is what we want to see happening at the Go and Do level, at the worship service teams level, at the communications level. But then just really release those project manager people, those team leads of those three teams to actually manage those teams. And there's a lot of sub teams under there and individuals working together, but to make sure that vision gets implemented. But then the connecting point back to the elders is we're going to look to identify probably one of our elders who has more of a gifting as kind of an executive pastor type role, what that would be called in a larger church. But with One Hope's DNA, we'll probably call it something more like service coordinator or something like that. But having that one elder just kind of working with those three project manager type folks and just kind of encouraging and making sure they have support they need, and just kind of accountability to the elders, reporting back to the elders through that key elder kind of position. And then, of course, quarterly, we'll probably have everybody meet together. Those three core project leader type people and elders, and that and our admin team as well, working together. So more I could share, but that's enough. Just want to let you know that that's happening, and I think it's going to really help as we are in a process. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but we're in earnest working on that right now to really refocus our elder team meetings. We had our first one last month. Our next one's coming up this month, to have it be more of a vision time, prayer time, kind of really look at the big picture and not get into the nuts and bolts that we don't need to be getting into. All right. Last thing I'll just mention too is that I mentioned on Sunday we are inviting three new potential elders to join our team. We have 5 elders right now. Our governance plan says we should have 6 to 9 plus the pastor. So this will put us to 8 plus myself, and will comprise the pastoral team. And so those 3 individuals are Joel Price, Matt Mysteric, and Debbie Hare. We're inviting them to join the elder team. And so we're going to have a vote next week, a vote of affirmation. So a link's going to go out for you to affirm or not affirm those 3 for the elder team. And then also we have James Wilborn and Christine Timbo are up for renewal, and they have prayerfully agreed to continue on for another term. So in that vote, they will be up. You can reaffirm them as well. All right, there we go. Lots of updates there, particularly about the leadership team. Thanks for listening to this a little bit longer update. But hey, again, just remember Easter's coming. It's Friday, but Sunday's a coming. Jesus died. He rose again. He has the victory over sin, death, and the devil. Let's celebrate this Easter season. Let's tell people about Jesus, all right? Okay, talk to you later.